The conservation meeting for Tuesday, October 18th, 2022 is now open. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes for October 4th, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, first one up is 42 Francis Ave. And under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40, MGL, as amended, the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations, and the West Bridgewater Comprehensive Stormwater Management Regulations, the Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on October 18th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a notice of intent at 42 Francis Avenue for the replacement upgrade for existing residential house with associated site work. Okay, anybody here for that?
Peter, are you gonna?
Good evening.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me and see me tonight?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm gonna pull the plan up. And if we could confirm you guys can all see that.
Yep.
All right, going to jump right into it?
Go
Yep.
for it, yep.
Awesome. For the record, Peter Lyons with Collins Civil Engineering Group, representing the property owner at 42 Francis Ave for a notice of intent relative to the repair of a failed 3-bedroom septic system. Quick overview of the property. To the north, off-site, we have a BBW, and there's an additional resource area across the street. The 50-foot line is shown in orange, just inside of the property line, and the 100-foot buffer to the wetland basically bisects the lot. On the southern side of the yard, we're dealing with an in-ground pool and patio and some retaining features. The lot also gets narrower over here. So as far as why the system's within the 100, that's the primary reason. So we're basically looking to replace the existing leaching components with a new 1,500-gallon septic tank and a 26 by 40-foot pipe and stone leaching field. There will be almost no elevation change. There'll be a slight hump over the proposed tank, which is outside the 100. And we're coming up about a foot on the northern end of the project, which will basically just drag the existing grade out a little bit further. All of the proposed work being done is in existing lawn areas. We don't anticipate the removal of any trees or vegetation. There is one larger caliber tree to the southeast corner of the system. That should be out of the way. So we proposed erosion control outside of the 50-foot buffer, wrapping around the entire project and ending at the shed. We've shown stockpile areas as well as dewatering locations and details on our plan. There are 3 proposed conservation markers set along the fence to the north, just along the property line. And additionally, we're proposing a crushed stone tracking pad at the end of the paved driveway. That's to remain during construction and then be removed once the construction is done, and that will be loam and seeded, as well as the area over the proposed septic itself. That's my quick overview. If the commission has any particular questions, I'll answer them. Thank you.
Is the system failed, or is it being replaced because the house is being sold?
It is a failure, yes.
And it's not, is it being sold, not being sold?
I think it is also being sold, yep.
Okay. Tim, you got anything?
I-
My only comment, one of them would be on the markers.
Would it be more appropriate to put them right on the white picket fence that's there instead of putting more posts in the ground? I mean, I know you have the posts set where where the line would be, but since it's all a mowed lawn area already, I mean, I would.
Yeah, so right, I guess based on our detail, we show the post being mounted in the ground. There is an existing fence that you can't really see it, but it is right on the property line. So we're basically proposing the markers just in front of the fence. I mean, if the commission would prefer to have the signs mounted directly onto the fence, you know, the sign's already a pretty visual barrier itself, and then we have a you know, dominant tree line just behind the fence. So I think the location is suitable, but if the commission would prefer them to be mounted directly to the fence, we could do that.
I don't know, what if the fence goes down?
It's a white picket vinyl fence that runs the whole length of the property and goes around the backside. And with a pool there, the whole property is fenced in. I did check it. I just figured it made sense instead of sticking them a foot out into the lawn to put them right along the fence.
Should they be on the other side too, of where the system is, on the backside?
Right, would just be the three markers that are proposed.
What about on the other side, where the system's gonna be closest to the,
Fence goes
property line?
around, but the corner, that's the neighbor's property that's mowed as well. So,
and there's a fence there though, Joe?
yes, yep, it goes up along the other side.
No, sticking nothing on that, you don't think?
No. The only thing I will make a comment, and if it is a sale of the house, we will have to watch because it looks like all the lawn debris and everything else gets thrown over the fence.
Okay.
And the property owner, which is the Conservation Commission, doesn't look highly on that.
I take it this is an older home?
Yes.
That's why,
Yeah.
before the 50-foot bylaw was in place? Now that we know that and the home is being sold, does the 50-foot now come into play?
Not really, it's previously
general-
disturbed already,
is
so
it-
it's just something that the commission and myself need to be aware of, that
And everything's
It is being
being,
sold.
everything's out of the 50-foot anyway, so.
with the markers there now,
Well,
it
I'm
should.
talking about the lawn
Yeah.
that's beyond the 50. When it's sold, my question was, does that come into play now that it's,
Well, being already there and everything like that,
it doesn't?
I mean,
I mean, that's
It could,
fine,
but-
as long as, yeah,
But if they're gonna be doing work
I mean,
further off, but
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
own the property, so they're not doing work
right,
Yeah.
or
right.
expanding
Okay.
the lawn area.
I know it comes up a lot in older homes, so.
But other than that, that was my only comment, was just where the markers got placed. Otherwise, they're stuck, they really don't have another area to put
Yeah.
it.
anybody else got any questions?
So we're gonna leave them where they are, or?
Yeah, you wanna put them on the fence?
If you guys, we can make that part of the order of conditions to put the markers on the fence.
I don't care.
Yeah,
That's fine.
okay, everything else look good?
6 of one, half dozen of the other. I
Okay,
mean, in some, I don't know which is less likely to be taken down, because I know sometimes that's an issue too. After all is said and done and the orders are filed and their certificate is delivered,
All right.
sometimes those posts tend to disappear.
That's what I'm thinking, if it was on the fence itself, it's
yeah, especially being
a little
inside.
more.
Okay,
I don't know.
okay, I'll entertain a motion to
Close.
close the hearing and with the condition that the markers for the wetlands are on the fence.
I'll make a motion to close, and we're gonna issue order of conditions.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay. that's all
We
set.
need
Now you'll need the
two
motion
motions,
to
yeah.
issue the order of conditions.
Yeah.
Standard order with the regulation of the markers on the fence,
Now,
not
I'll
the
make a motion with standard order of conditions with another order of conditions for the markers to be on the fence.
Great, yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for that. Just quickly, I had a certificate of compliance later in the night. I didn't know if you needed me to stick around for that.
You actually won't have to. I did inspect it on my way to this meeting, and everything is where it needs to be. So Yeah, you won't have to be here.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much.
Alrighty,
Thanks,
thanks.
Peter.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Okay, the next one up is 378 East Center Street. And under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL, as amended, and the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations, and the West Bridgewater Comprehensive Stormwater Management Regulations, the Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on October 18, 2022 at 6:30 PM in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a request for a determination of applicability at the 378 East Center Street for the redevelopment of the site. Okay, all set?
Good evening. I am Stephanie Hoban here for Strong Point Engineering, representing Stephen Salisbury, who is the owner of the property, or the LLC. With me is also Eric Dias, who is the PE and owner of Strong Point Engineering. So we are redeveloping this site located at 378 East Center Street, which is located the corner of East Center Street and East Street. There is a resource bordering vegetated wetland across the street, which we did have redelineated after conversations with John Delano. So the work that we're doing is almost all out of the 100-foot buffer. The closest area we have is actually, it's 83 feet, give or take, to the edge of the driveway, which is the street, the existing street, the edge of the existing street. And the only new work proposed kind of within the 100 buffer zone, the 100-foot buffer zone on the site itself, is some minimal grading and some more landscaping. And this area is already completely disturbed. It's all lawn area. So we're just asking if we need to file a full notice of intent for that.
Lorraine, do you want to go over the stormwater
Yeah.
as well?
Yes, so we actually also are going for a stormwater permit. Let me just show you. So the existing site right now is a house. There's some existing greenhouses, a large driveway, some gravel, concrete pads over here where people would pull in. So our proposed project is to tear down the greenhouses. We're going to turn the existing house into retail, add some office space and a salon and office space here. Turning the front portion into a parking area. In order to make everything fit, we do have a retaining wall up here. Under existing conditions, a good portion of the site, pretty much this whole area of the site already flows to East Street. A portion of the site flows down to the abutting property, and a small area flows up here to East Center Street. So to meet, for our proposed drainage, we added an infiltration field underneath the parking area, and we meet all of the, we reduce or meet all of the existing flows and volumes for all of the stormwater that's draining to the East Street, and also East Center Street. For the stormwater, we are putting in a hydrodynamic separator to make sure that the water is clean, and also deep sump catch basins with hoods. They're also proposing erosion controls. So erosion control will actually come all the way around the property line to keep sediment and anything off of the public streets. We're also proposing an extra line of erosion control across the street, just to make sure that if anything does get off of the site, it doesn't go all the way into the wetlands. And that's kind of the basics of the site, so if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Where's the infiltration system? Where's the water gonna flow from that?
So it actually flows right into this lawn area, which will then trickle overland onto the street.
Would the treatment, annual or semi-annual maintenance of the treatment be written into the order of conditions?
Yes, so we actually have
That's pretty standard, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
and we submitted an operation and maintenance plan, and we also submitted the full construction period pollution kind of whole report.
Okay, I have no more.
Is it a lawn area that's being disturbed, or is there, grassy, are there any trees or things like that?
So there are 2 landscaped areas and 2 small trees that are being disturbed, taken out. And then there's a whole row of arborvitae here that we aren't touching. And then there is one beautiful large tree here that we're actually going to protect during construction to make sure that nothing happens to. But yes, up here is, it's all lawn area and driveway.
So that whole area that's been disturbed as now as a business, you're just sticking in that same area and just
Yeah.
rerouting things around to a parking lot and turning.
Yep.
Okay.
Can we have those 2 trees that are being taken out be put somewhere else?
They're actually really large to move, and they do have a planting plan for other trees to be planted as
Yep.
Okay.
replacements onto the site, so it's not like they're not replacing. Planting plan, if I remember, I think it has 6 or 8 ginkgo trees proposed.
Yes, so we're proposing 5 new trees, so we're taking down the 2 large trees. We're proposing 5 new trees and about 30 shrubs.
Okay, thank you.
My only question was on the overflow for the drainage system
Mm-hmm.
that sheds out onto the grassy area.
Yep.
I know that the highway department won't look kindly upon us if we dump more water onto the road than's currently going there. I know you have your pre-construction, post-construction flows, but it's more concentrated now in that one area.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm just, before it was shedding off all around it. I'm just
Yeah,
curious to,
it is. I mean, we could also do kind of more of we could put in more of a level spreader too, is an option to try to spread it out a little bit more.
Another option that we might consider, and for the record, Eric Dias, registered professional engineer with Strong Point. Another option that we might consider, we do have a little bit of lawn area in that space. We could even recess that a little bit, so it's almost like a staged discharge. We
Yep.
could probably sink that by about a foot, so that would collect additional flow, and then, you know, what can infiltrate from there will, and what can't will overtop into, you know, in a controlled fashion onto the roadway where it goes now.
I mean, looking at it, they have taken care of as much, if not more, of the runoff than is there now. So I wouldn't expect this to be a problem all that often, but
Mm-hmm.
heavy rainstorm middle of the winter and then it freezes and it's
Yep.
all in a puddle right in the spot. So if we could treat it with
Sure, we can,
A little swale, little,
just a
put a
little,
depression there,
Yeah.
stormwater
Yeah.
depression,
Yeah.
and maybe that's something that if you folks are comfortable, we can just write into an order of conditions
Yeah.
and.
and put it on the
That way.
as-built plan and.
Sure.
That's all I had to offer.
Anybody else have anything? No? Okay, so I will entertain a motion to close 42 Francis Ave. 378 East Center Street.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And then I will,
Motion for a -3.
-3, okay, motion for a -3 with, what is it, with the,
And then we'll do the
Depression.
stormwater permit afterwards there.
okay, no, motion for a -3.
I'll make a motion issue a -3.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Then I'll entertain a motion for, what was that?
General stormwater
This
permit.
is general stormwater, permit
With that,
with the depression for the water to
Yeah, it's
flow.
part of the
okay,
water
I'll make
conditions
that
on
motion.
that.
Part of the order conditions, okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
All right, thank
Excellent.
you.
Thank you very
for your
much.
time. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
When do you plan on starting, soon?
So
Probably not. I'd say it's a few years out. I'm dead
oh,
serious.
really?
No.
You know, everything's too expensive right now.
How long do permits last?
Three-
I
is
think
it 3 years?
Yeah, yeah, things are expensive.
Yeah.
So we may be back for an extension, but we'll see how it goes.
All right,
Sorry. Oh, no problem.
Lee, what does -3 mean?
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
thank you.
talk that.
In the DEP paperwork, your determination is to state that it's not something that needs an NOI. And so the -3 is the mechanism to say you don't need to go file the notice of
NOI.
intent and do the whole
Okay.
process.
All right, thank you.
I mean, the
Okay.
only real, the storm water and then that little edge
Yeah,
of
it was
100
such a-
was the only thing that would be in our jurisdiction anyway.
Mhm.
So-
Okay.
Okay, next is continued public hearings. 561 Walnut Street. Notice of intent for work within 100 foot of the wetland resource area.
Is
Right here.
To refresh everybody, that was the one we had to figure out the delineation line and where that stood.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And going back through, I did find some old paperwork, some really old paperwork as well. But my recommendation would be to use the delineation line for around the pond area, because that's really the area where the work is actually gonna happen,
Right.
or anything that on the site during the construction and phase, which that would be the 685 feet, linear feet, which would be a delineation fee of $2,055.
Okay,
The other two areas, I mean, they're on the site, but there's no work being done in it, and they were previously described when the septic system was done.
I remember we discussed around the pond, so.
Mhm.
And excuse me, Commission, this is Cameron Larson coming in via Zoom representing the applicant, so I'm available here if any commission members have any questions, but I think Tim described what we came to as a reasonable fee pretty well, so we're acceptable to that, and but be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I don't have any.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to
Close the
close the
hearing.
hearing.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Then you'll make a motion to
Issue a standard of order of conditions
for the,
for the project itself.
so I'll issue entertain a motion to order a standard order of conditions for the project itself.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anything with the delineation? Tim?
And
That's,
that, they will need a waiver to work within the 50-foot because of the pond being where it is.
Yeah.
So you'll need a motion for that.
I'll entertain a motion for a waiver of the delineation for around the area of the pond.
to work within the 50?
To work within the
Make that
50, yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, all set.
You're all set.
You're in business.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very
Aye.
much, Commission.
Thanks, Cameron.
Okay, next one is 461, 463 Matfield Street, request for a determination of applicability to repair and upgrade a septic system.
And we have Josh is here, and I.
Hi guys. Hi
Aye.
everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Mhm.
Alright, perfect.
I
So
did-
we did submit a formal waiver request for that ANRAD delineation fee. We submitted that to the commission for this particular project because the homeowner's been here for a long time and she's not planning on selling the house or anything like that. So we just wanted to put that out there that we're formally requesting that waiver. And if anybody has any questions, we can talk about it.
My comment would be, I looked it up today just to get a little more information on it. Apparently it was delineated at some point, though. Is that right? You said, I guess you were contending that it didn't apply, the ANRAD did not apply to this situation?
Well, no, if it had, already had an NRED done,
Right.
then a delineation fee would have already been paid, and it wasn't, and it wouldn't need to be paid again. We can't double dip constantly.
No, but had it,
There wasn't an NRED done in the past,
so we had to do it.
so we have to ask for the delineation fee.
Okay, so
And-
who did the latest delineation? They did?
They did for this septic
Okay.
repair,
And was the septic, was it,
and it has failed.
it has failed, it's,
And then
So it
actually
needs
what
to
it
be
is
done.
there's two cesspools, and they're
Oh,
putting
so
it
it's
in,
an old one.
right, and putting it into a Title V compliant septic system.
My other comment was that we needed to show proven hardship in order to grant this. I don't see that in the letter, so I'm not in favor of waiving it myself. We've only, I don't ever remember waiving delineation fees, maybe in one case many, many years ago, so I'm just not in favor unless this resident wants to prove to us that this is really a hardship and for them to pay it.
is there any reason for it, do you know of? Josh?
Yeah, so, I mean, as far as what we've done in the past for all of our other projects, we haven't had to pay this fee. And the way we're reading the bylaw, we don't see that it applies to all filings. It's $3 a linear foot for an NRAD filing, which, unless we're
And that's the only
reading,
fee if you're
Unless
doing
we're
the
reading-
NRED. We typically ask for the delineation fee in lieu of having to do the separate filing for an NRED. And that's why the delineation fee was requested.
for,
Something
for anything other than the NRAD or a bigger
Right.
project like that.
Right, if they just want the wetland line certified on an ANRAD for future use, then that's where we just do the delineation fee alone. Otherwise, it's part of the whole package to do any filing, unless the ANRAD has previously been done and established the line, and it hasn't expired.
And you
Yeah.
couldn't, yeah.
Okay, well,
I mean, not that I want to be necessarily an advocate for every applicant, but this is a pretty substantial upgrade, which is going to be pretty costly compared to the two cesspools that are there now.
Well, do you know how long of a line, do you know how many feet it is? The what?
600, I think, $600.
the line's 226 feet long,
How far, 226?
Yeah, $600.
which is about $678.
I'm just afraid of setting any kind of a precedent going
Yeah.
forward, that's all.
I mean, not to say that she said she wasn't moving or anything like that, that's fine. But I mean, I'm not saying that year down the road, things could change, so
Yeah.
I'm not for the waiver on it.
Neither am I.
Anybody else? Jason? Steve?
I agree with Mo in that if there's no,
Hardship?
real demonstration of a hardship, then I think we kind of have to toe the line here a little bit. I do hear what Tim is saying with regards to the extents and having done that myself on my own property, as of late, I know that it is, but
You paid.
I agree with the precedent setting issue. I think as much as difficult as that is to kind of
Yeah.
flesh out there, but.
Okay, so, everything else, Steve, what do you have to say? No. Okay, so, entertain motion to,
To not accept the,
okay, so I'll entertain a motion to not accept the waiver on the delineation fee for 461, 463 Matfield Street.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. All
Other
set?
than that, you can close the hearing and issue a -3, and we will wait until we get the waiver money to give them the paperwork.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion for -3.
I'll make the motion for the -3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then we'll just wait for the
Yeah, we'll have our
donation.
client write the check and get that over to you guys ASAP.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty,
Thanks, Josh.
thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is 35 United Drive.
And they have sent in a request to continue that until November 1st.
Entertain a motion to continue to November 1st.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next one is Lincoln Street and West Center Street. General stormwater management permit.
I think we do have Stephanie here for that.
Once again.
But again, we were really holding off just for the final review from the 53G on the swale and how everything ended up. And they accepted all the comments, everything was changed. So at this point, we can close this hearing as well.
Wow.
The 53G has actually asked for their last payment for the last review.
Oh, so they've reviewed
They
everything?
Reviewed everything, there were no more comments.
This is for the stormwater
Needed.
permit.
No.
Stephanie, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I am happy to hear that Alan Major was able to get back to you. And that I was just, going to just relay the comments that we discussed, but I'm happy to hear that they did get back.
Okay. We got
So
somebody.
Marquette Paul Meadows with Allen and Major Associates, we are the peer review consultant on this project. We haven't signed off on this project yet. We just received additional information today from Stephanie.
Oh, okay.
So we
We
have
did
not
not
signed
know
off.
about that one.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right.
And we will continue it until the 1st.
Okay. So I will entertain a motion to continue Lincoln Street and West Center Street to the November 1st.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All set?
Thank you.
We'll hope for the 11th.
We're gaining.
The 11-1.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Next one is off West Street, off Old West Street. The abbreviated notice of resource area delineation. And anybody in for that?
Okay, I'm not sure if we have anybody here for that, but I can give an update.
Mm-hmm.
We did finally get a set of plans that have all the flags numbered on the plans. So we can now actually get it delineated and go out and actually review the flags. John was waiting for that before he retired and headed south, so
Yeah.
that is on my bucket list the next few days
Is
to
this the
start.
property, Tim, that has a million different?
Yes.
Okay.
All wacky.
So, now that the leaves are
I'm
off, maybe a little
exagger-
easier
I'm
to see where things
exaggerating.
are.
But it's loaded with little pockets, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will be in touch with them to get the flagging verified and check
Okay.
that. So
Continue.
we want to continue that one as well.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to continue off West Street, off Old West Street to November 1st.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is 586 Manley Street, notice of intent. Stormwater management permit.
Good evening, members of the board. Paul Meadows with Allen and Major Associates. I'm also accompanied by Matt Davis from National Development LLC. We're here before you again for a continued hearing for the notice of intent for the project associated with 586 Manley Street, which is we're proposing a 210,600 square foot warehouse with loading docks on the north side and regular parking on the south side and a little bit on the westerly side. We've had a second peer review letter come back from Amory Engineering Consultants, or PC, and they basically signed off on the plans and our drainage calculations. We did make a couple modifications to the plan set that was submitted to the board the other day. The planning board, they requested that we modify the truck entrance here, that we actually increase this radius a little bit longer. We added 315 square feet of additional pavement to the property, and that was all updated on our cover letter that we provided to Amory and also to the board. And then a couple other changes that Amory wanted was that we changed the clean out from a 4-inch clean out to a 6-inch clean out on storm deck chambers that are located here on the westerly side of the site to take care of drainage. And we also changed the depth of the stone. We had originally calculated for 6 inches, and on our plan we called for 12 inches, so we have to just fix that typographic error on the plan. So other than that, we've addressed all the comments that were requested by us. So I'll open up to the board, see if you have any additional comments or questions that we may be able to answer. But we feel that everything's been submitted and we're satisfied.
So in addition to the bigger pipe and the more of the stone,
It was,
they figure is because of drainage?
no, what the clean out was to provide better observation points.
Okay.
Our plan called for 4 inches, and Storm Tech allows for a 4-inch, 6-inch, or a 10-inch inspection port. So we changed the plan to be the 6 inches as recommended by the peer review consultant. And the reason for the stone issue is that on our plan, we called for 12 inches on our detail, but everything else on the plan that was identified elevation-wise and in the drainage calculations was for 6 inches. So we just corrected that typographic error. So it's for 6 inches.
So that 4 to 6 is just a sort of a matter of choice?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine there's that much difference between
Correct.
4 and 6. It's
It just makes it
they
easier.
liked it better.
It just makes it easier if you're sending a shop vac in there to clean out any sediment that may occur where your pipes are. So the 6 inch gives you a little bit more clearance around the hose opening.
Sure, no, I understand.
Understandable.
And the planning board, it was basically just the driveway,
There's the driveway.
entranceway.
Yeah, they had no other comments or questions that they had, and they were gonna rely on the Conservation Commission for the stormwater review. And we have that meeting is tomorrow night. So we're planning to get that one closed tomorrow night.
Okay, I'm all set.
Okay, anybody else got anything? No? I'll just
We can close this one?
close it. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close 586 Manley Street.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay.
Then we did have some waivers that were asked, or variances from your regulations. One was for some work within the 50-foot buffer. It's an existing non-conforming use. So I'll let Tim.
Nope,
Okay.
you're gonna need the waiver for the 50.
But did we do stormwater on this before?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Before this project, or
Yeah,
before this project, stormwater was approved.
It
So
was.
stormwater was only for the front portion.
Okay.
And then there was a violation that occurred, and a lot more work had occurred on the property going to the west.
Okay.
So, and I believe you guys have a
That's in
violation
the,
on
we did
file.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so I'll entertain a motion for work in the way,
And
Yeah, for work within the 50.
for work within the 50-foot for the waiver.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
And then there's another variance waiver for work within bordering land subject to flooding.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for the waiver of the work in the
Bordering land subject to flooding.
borderland substance.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, could you just point out what we're talking about here?
So the flood zone is this green line that's shown here. So you can kind of see the green hatch areas are the work that's being occurred within the bordering land subject to flooding. And that's based on the FEMA flood maps. That's where that line became established. There's no elevation associated with it, so we just kind of trace it off the flood maps and get it on our plan. So the red up here is our compensatory storage, providing whatever volume that we lost within that flood zone, we've replicated here, which was outside the flood zones. And we provided all those calculations within the notice of intent package. For work within the 50-foot buffer zone, just for clarification purposes, it's gonna be this area here, the 50-foot no-touch zone is this green line here. So there's an existing stockpile that's located here. So that's for the work to get out, to remove that stockpile out of that 50-foot buffer zone. And also here is another stockpile here that's within that 50-foot no-touch zone. Again, those are existing conditions as they exist today.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay. All set?
And a motion to issue a standard order of conditions.
And I'll entertain a motion to order a standard order of conditions.
I'll make that motion.
And if you could
Include it in.
include in that within 21 days.
Okay, within 21 days of
Today.
I mean, we have
Today.
that, but if we can get it done earlier, we will plan on that.
I'll make that.
That's the intent.
Second.
But
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that it?
Is the stormwater permit approved?
And general stormwater permit.
Oh, and the general, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
for
And
that
then I'll entertain a motion for the general stormwater management to be approved.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All set.
All right. I think we got you done. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one is 102 West Center Street, request certificate of compliance.
Okay, and I can give that. Peter was here earlier for the Collins Engineering one.
Yes.
The
right.
102 West Center Street is the project that's right across from the police and fire station. The office building and the,
Oh, okay, for all
They-
that, yeah, that's right.
he had planned to do another addition
That's right.
after that.
That's right.
That's on hold.
Yeah.
Again, finances and everything else. So he wanted to close the DEP permit
Okay.
on what he's got currently. And he will refile another notice when he
All right.
goes and moves on with the rest of the project.
Okay.
So instead of leaving it just out there hanging, which
We'll issue conditions
He just-
for what's there.
everything's, the markers are all in place. I checked that on the way in. They picked them up on Monday and he got them all placed in today. So everything's done. We have the files complete with an as-built for everything that's there now. So we just need to issue a certificate of compliance.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 102 West Center Street.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Yeah, I saw him putting the markers in today. I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on over there?
So that-
Originally, they had called
Yeah.
and said, we think we're gonna have to postpone because the markers aren't in yet. And then 20 minutes later, I got, hey, they're gonna be in, they're already there
Where do they
working on it.
come from? From Ramco?
I don't know where they got the PVC. The markers he picked up in the office, so
Yeah, yeah.
they got 'em-
Any time on when they think they're gonna start with that?
No.
No, okay. so
Yeah, it was just,
Everything's delayed now.
Just get it
Yeah.
ready for that.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is 34 South Street, request for a certificate of compliance.
and that's for the general stormwater permit, and that's the new house that's right on the corner of Bryant Street and South Street. Grass is all
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
everything's complete, the as-built was done, so there's no problem with it.
And they're still going by 34 South Street, huh?
Yeah, even though the driveways, but because the house
36 or
faces
whatever. Yeah.
South Street, they left it all the same.
Is that what they're gonna stick with?
Yep.
Really? I thought that the address had to be with the
Not with the
driveway.
driveway,
It's where the house
House,
faces, huh? Okay. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to request a certificate of compliance for 34 South Street.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next one is 561 Walnut Street, request a certificate of compliance.
Okay, this is the one that predates the filing that we just dealt with.
Okay.
This one, if you look at the DEP number, it's 11,
Wow.
so it goes way, way back. And to clear up the whole process, all the paperwork's in, everything's done, as-bilt's finished, fees are paid, they just need to,
So this is Leo's landscaping?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to request a certificate of compliance for 561 Walnut Street.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Next one is 100 Beacon Street.
We can leave that one on if we want. They are working on getting the plans put together for
Let's continue.
the shed and moving that around. And so I'd just leave that one.
Is that the one where they had to move it
4
over
feet,
to the
yeah,
middle?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Tim, did you go out there and see that?
What was that?
Tim, did you go out there and see that, or?
Yeah, I did actually end up going out to take a look, and like he said, it can be moved. It's going to be a little more difficult because there are pilings kind of in the ground, but it's not like a full foundation.
Yeah.
So it can be done. I mean, it's
Are
not.
they concrete piles?
Yeah, it's just it's going to be some work, but
Price you gotta pay.
yeah, but at least you can keep your shed.
All right, so nothing on that one. Just leave it as it is.
And 586, the violation update and the certificate of compliance, John and I are working on that jointly. And
Okay.
I would leave that on there, unless John has an update. Okay. It's a work in progress.
That's the close? We're waiting for the close on that
Right,
property?
we're trying to figure out the mechanism to make sure
Yeah.
the fines are paid before
Before it
everything happens.
switches over.
Right.
Okay, so just none. All right, so
And
just
I'm
sign documents, right?
going to ask before you do the next bit of information, does Sherry have something for tonight? Just checking to see what we're doing.
No, I'm with 586 Manley, the next one up on the docket.
What one are you here for?
586.
586 Manley.
The
Manley
five-
Street.
The 586 one? The continued violations?
No, the new filing, the notice of intent.
It's not that.
That's the continued hearing for the new office project.
No, it's a warehouse.
The warehouse,
Oh, that's,
yes,
so that's,
yep. We just closed that one.
no, 586.
We already finished that.
Ah, I missed the end of it, sorry.
We are recorded, and you can watch it on YouTube in another day or two, but yeah, they got their final report back from the 53G and addressed all the planning board's concerns and our concerns.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
And other than that, I just had the 2 warrant items for you to sign for invoices.
Okay, anybody got anything they have to say?
I had a quick question. Remember the thing I sent you on the swales over on Scotland Street?
Oh.
To look at? I was trying to remember if those swales have to be kept clear of everything, or they can put things in it but maintain it. I was just confused.
Right, okay, so Mo sent me a picture over the weekend for the new project over on Scotland Street, the 40B housing. And as you go in where the mailboxes are,
Right.
to
Oh,
the
yeah.
right, that area, there weren't any really designated swales.
Oh,
There
there
was-
wasn't. Okay.
Right, there are low depressions on the plan with drainage, basically drainage basins or drainage pits with piping underground. So the water that gets shed off gets collected there and then piped into the system itself. And the first 4 houses on the right all have these in the back of them.
So no.
There was no swale designed
Okay.
there because of the
All
way
right.
the contours were.
It just goes like that, right? It's just
Right.
like a depression.
So the part on the left-hand side has the swale down the whole back.
Which is
And that,
not functional yet. Well, it is, but
I actually checked and
Did
it,
you?
it does seem to be working.
and it
Yeah.
drains to the back.
Right, and
down.
it takes it down so it doesn't get into the property behind them.
Okay.
And the erosion control is there, so that's all being stopped and held.
Wonder why we did the piping instead. You had no place to send it in a swale,
Yeah.
right?
Right, that area it's a trapped spot.
Yes,
There
yeah.
wasn't a way to drain it off
Right,
anywhere.
To be
right.
honest with you, I mean, I've been down there a few times, and everything does seem like it's working good.
Yes,
All
even
the-
with the 3 inches of rain.
After the
Last
rains
week.
and all that stuff, everything seems to be going.
But generally speaking, like on the other side where the swale runs way down, that's an area that has
There's
to be
actually
left
an easement
alone.
with that, and it's to be kept clean
Okay.
and clear of debris. And
Gotcha.
so you shouldn't be seeing sheds appear or lawn furniture or
Gotcha.
play
Yeah,
sets or
yeah.
stuff like that
Well,
on
they'd
the,
be sitting in water if they were, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be
Possibly.
wet, it's gonna be wet, yeah. Okay, thanks.
Anything else?
Would it be appropriate this time, I went to the conference on Saturday.
Yep.
I had a couple of thoughts and questions. Okay, so one of the ones I went on was, okay, refit stuff. Anyway, and so do we are we MS4 permit category?
yes.
We are. Okay. All right.
That's part of our stormwater,
Okay, so
general stormwater
we're
permit
under that.
regulation.
Okay. So the in that lecture he was talking about, I like this guy, he was very good, he was an engineer and I could understand him. It was good. He talked about different water qualities and what's in the water they look for. Phosphorus, nitrogen, bacteria, chlorine, and solids and oils and grease and that kind of stuff.
Is this the runoff? For the
Yeah.
runoff, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I asked him, I said, do we test for PFAS? And he said, no, we don't. That's not a requirement. I was interested in PFAS for water quality because of our issue here.
So what is PFAS?
It's the
It's a
new,
long word.
Yeah, they're finding it in the town wells
It's
now.
everywhere.
Or actually, it's everywhere.
it's
I mean,
everywhere.
it's
It's a
everywhere,
big problem everywhere in the water.
And where's that come from?
Teflon.
All many sources, even packaging,
Clothing,
clothing,
Oh, so it's
furniture, they
yeah,
treat, so the
right.
laundry that you wash, it slowly takes the chemicals out of
Yes,
it the more you
yeah.
wash it, so,
Okay. So, but that's not included in all that.
right.
Okay, so, and I asked the similar question. I went to one about trees in Leicester, trees and green infrastructure. And I asked the same question. I said, do trees help mitigate the PFAS problem? And he said, we don't know. So he said, and I said, was there any research going on about it? And he said, I'll find out. So he did urban development. So I thought that was interesting.
Yep.
And the other thing is, the main speaker at lunchtime, his topic was land resiliency. The Massachusetts MACC, they are working on land resiliency and trying to, then they had a bunch of things about land resiliency and climate change. His perspective is that land and our keeping it healthy and resilient is what is the major way we can combat climate change. So, but we have no laws around that in Massachusetts about land resilience. What does that mean, and how do we do it? So they're working on that kind of thing. So that might be coming down the pike in terms of our use of land. And I was thinking of this type of thing when I was listening to the recreation plans for that big land out near on Lincoln Street.
Yep.
How they're doing like turf instead of grass. Does that matter for land
Yeah.
resiliency and that kind of thing? So anyway, so that was fun. I had a good time. And then I bought a book.
Your favorite.
The updated version.
Yeah.
Well, and it's and it's a guidelines, and it's not in our, it's not in the,
Big one.
yeah, the big one, yeah.
Hmm.
So I had fun.
That's good.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't know
Tim, could you move the camera back so it faces the?
Oops, sorry.
is that something that
Okay.
maybe in the future we could somehow put in, like you were talking about, turf instead of putting it back to regular grass and stuff like that? You think that's something that could be possibly done with projects, big projects?
Well, it's something we could look at that, under our town bylaw, we can probably ask and try to get more of these items put in, where if it came before us, like a 40B housing, our bylaw wouldn't apply to it, But any of the other projects, we can push the envelope and ask and see what we can come up with, so.
Yeah.
Looking
mean-
I thought the term land resiliency was a nice way of thinking about how do we keep the well-being of our land.
Keeping it to
yeah,
the way
the
the
soil,
original was,
yeah,
should
right.
be, yeah.
That's why
I mean, other than like turf for football fields and stuff like that, which if you were to put regular grass in, it's gonna get dug up and all that stuff, I can understand that, but
We're looking at alternative types of parking. I mean, it doesn't all have to be paved.
no.
They make those geo blocks now that you can actually plant grass in, but still have structure to drive across, so
Yeah.
it's permeable, but still.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's
It's a thought, I didn't know they
It
had
could be a
those.
new
thinking something outside of the box a little bit.
green future in ahead, I don't know, something
Yeah.
like that, new.
I mean, you don't have to go and reseal it. You don't have to pay for the pavement to be put down, and you just mow it occasionally.
And if it gets driven on enough, it'll keep
Right,
it,
but
it'll
it's-
keep down, but it'll still be able to filtrate all the stuff, all the waters and all that.
Things like that we may want to look at for certain projects and see if they're.
Probably expensive, I would guess.
Yeah. And we don't have any authority.
Substrate. Streets
Initially,
and
it's
all
more
that.
expensive, but long-term maintenance-wise,
Yeah.
it's considerably
Probably not.
less.
It works out in the long run.
Yeah, because again, you don't even have to do anything with it. As far as for drainage, it's permeable, so it's not
Yeah.
like it's going to affect.
What is it, blocks with holes in them?
Yeah, they're just giant cement blocks that have blocks in it. They vary in size depending on whether you need it for trailer truck parking or
Yeah.
driving or just cars.
They probably got small ones that are like honeycomb that
Right. Yeah, they make smaller ones for
full.
driveway type
Yeah.
applications. So
Yeah, there could be something in the future. Never know. See if
Well,
Future is
business.
upon us.
building is going to occur, we just have to be smarter with what's
Yeah,
being built, how we manage what it's being built on.
Yeah. and that's why I like the title was also like, green infrastructure kind of.
Sure.
sounds good. Anybody else got anything?
I just have a question of procedure. I have, just wondering if I need to recuse myself from sitting on this side of the table to the other side. I was just informed by the real estate agent in terms of the sale of my current property at 358, to see if there's any outstanding orders of conditions that may or may not have been so I don't know if I need to do that or if I can just send you an email, Tim.
you can just
or
send an email
whatever.
to me as an agent,
Okay.
as the agent,
Okay.
and I can look that up and let you
Okay.
know what I
Great.
come up with.
That's all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that's good. I guess we'll call. That's it then, huh?
Do we have a report from John, how he's doing?
Yeah. How's the hot weather? Well, we can do that after we close out. So
Oh, okay.
I'll entertain a motion to close.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Well, good night.